U.S. President Donald Trump is once again sharing his feelings about Canada, including who he would prefer to see when the next federal election happens.
Let's bring in our Glenn McGregor in Ottawa now. So, Glenn, the president not holding back last night in a Fox interview, even taking a shot at one particular federal party leader.
Yeah, Faiza and Mel, I don't know how we would fill a newscast were it not for Donald Trump talking about Canada, because he does it on the regular. Last night, a long-form interview with Laura Ingraham on Fox News, and she asked him whether or not he was being harsher on Canada than he was on the United States' known adversaries like Russia and China. And he also did, yes, weigh in on a preference for the upcoming Canadian election. Listen to what he said on Fox last night.
My end game is I don't want to have a big deficit. I don't want to see the United States of America, and you say 60 and I say 200, but it doesn't matter. I don't want us to pay 60 or $200 billion to a country that, if they were a state, think of this, it would be our biggest, most beautiful, it would be great. This state, it would be cherished. We'd take care of it. The people would pay half what they're paying right now. Canada pays very little for defense.
So this has been a known irritant to Donald Trump, is our NATO, the amount of money we spend on national defense as a percentage of our gross domestic product. The NATO target is 2%. Canada's running around 1.3 or 1.4%, and this is something that irritates him a lot. And he claims repeatedly that the United States is effectively paying for Canada's defense. He also used that $200 billion figure there. That is actually a reference to the balance of trade between Canada and the United States, the amount of goods we sell them, less the amount of goods that they sell to us. Right now, it's in our favor. It's not $200 billion. It's somewhere around, goes up and down, somewhere around $70 billion. And that's entirely because of the amount of oil we sell to the United States that gets refined in the southern U.S., and then some of it gets brought back up into Canada and sold here. So it's something they actually make money on. The figure is completely misleading. Now, in that interview last night, he also went on to talk about his preference for the upcoming election. He kind of dissed what he called the conservative leader. He didn't name Pierre Poilievre because he couldn't seem to remember his name. And he says he doesn't like him because Poilievre has been speaking out against him. That's true. Poilievre did kind of pivot a little while ago because he read the tea leaves. He saw the way this is going in Canada, how unpopular Donald Trump is here. And he's trying to kind of make himself clear that he doesn't have any sort of similarities to Trump in style or policy, really trying to distance himself from Donald Trump. And so the conservatives today are seeing this as good news that Trump was critical of Poilievre and also said that he could see himself better working with a liberal. Didn't name current Prime Minister Mark Carney, but he said it's easier to deal with liberals. The conservative point of view is that means Trump thinks the liberals are going to be a pushover. So Poilievre was asked about this today at an event in Northern Ontario where he was promoting the Ring of Fire and promising to expedite permits to extract minerals from there. But he was asked about this. Listen to what he said today.
And I once again say to Donald Trump, why would you go after these people? These are great Canadian people. American workers, just like them, are going to lose jobs if this continuing trade war insanity goes on. There is no good reason to do this to these good people. Stop the tariffs, stop the chaos, let's solve this problem, and that will mean that workers on both sides of the border can get their lives back, and both the nations could be stronger.
So there's another example of Poilievre talking tough to Donald Trump. Are voters in Canada going to buy this? Do they really believe that Donald Trump would prefer to deal with Mark Carney than he would with Pierre Poilievre? Hard to say. Public opinion polling recently has been kind of mixed on this, but generally the sense is from respondents to some of those polls is they think Mark Carney is better positioned to deal with Donald Trump than Pierre Poilievre. Regardless, it's very clear we're going to be into an election campaign probably in the next couple of days. Looking like Sunday is the most likely day that the writs will drop and the election will officially begin. Also very clear that Donald Trump is going to be a factor throughout this, and he may also be injecting himself into the campaign through interviews like he did last night on Fox News. He's not shy about commenting on it. This is going to be a factor, Mel and Faiza, for up until Election Day.
All right, we'll see what plays out in the coming days and weeks. Our Glenn McGregor in Ottawa. Glenn, thank you.
Thanks.